I'm FD from Rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
I'm rolling with FD.
And this is my co-host, Big John.
Hey YouTube, it's your boy Big John. Thank you for rolling with me and FD here on What's the Play.
We're here every week.
Big John, what's going on?
What's up? What's going on?
Talking sports, the hobby, pop culture, and much more.
Catch us every Tuesday night talking about sports, the sports car hobby, and current events. Go Bears.
Most of these teams that do not care about if they're winning ball games. They care enough about, are you interested in what they're doing?
Beckett probably going out of business or getting bought soon.
I don't think Kawhi Leonard, if he comes back, he's going to end up going back out.
Dion, you don't gotta like that he cocky, but he got a right to be.
Big John, if Jimmy Butler goes to the Bay, I'm on the ground and I'm not. And you all know we're going to bring on guests from the hobby and everywhere else that you want to hear from.
You have to be prepared for haters. You have to be prepared for people who don't like you.
I started opening up my first packs in 1976.
I don't want to interrupt you, but while you're talking, I just got some background entertainment for you, but keep going.
What are you playing? Michael Jordan.
We got Junior in the house and we got Paxton in the house.
A lot of players got to find a way to win based on their own strengths.
What would we say is John Morant's strength?
Attacking the rim.
You know, small guards attack the rim, don't play long. This is the What's the Play podcast. Big John. I'm digging the background.
What's up? WrestleMania night one.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I am good, sir. How are you doing? How's your day today?
It's good. It was good. Just finished up watching WrestleMania. Good.
A lot going on right now in the NBA.
It is. The Lakers getting their butt kicked.
Why is that? Luka has 37. LeBron has 19.
Well, LeBron was being very passive in the second half. Sorry, the second half. First 5 minutes. He's being very passive first, and they was missing shots. Minnesota's red hot, and Anthony Edwards is going 1-on-1 with Luka a lot.
That's a problem.
But in the same breath, he's going 1-on-1, passing it and getting the ball back.
Yeah, but what about Nas Reed? Nas Reed is destroying people right now.
He got hurt in the fourth. I don't know if he's back in the game. Yeah,
he's
I've been multitasking. WrestleMania on one screen, basketball on the other.
Yeah, I got you. He's back in the game. Just hit a three. He's 6-9 for the 3-point line. But you can't let Nas Reed be 6-9 for the three with 23 points.
And listen, Julius Randle was posting up LeBron and getting buckets.
It's a problem right now. And we know game one, there will be adjustments.
Yeah.
But this is a problem. And you know teams are going to continue. Minnesota's going to continue to expose Luka on the defensive end.
Yep.
Teams are going to attack him. So then what do you do?
I mean, you expose both of them because they've been putting LeBron in the low corner in the 2-3 zone in the second half. So once you get past Luka, LeBron doesn't step up. He doesn't rotate. So if he rotates, it's late. So
porous defense goes to porous defense.
Yeah. You know, this is where I talked to you earlier in the week, right? All these trades that happen, the teams are where we thought they would be. Every team who made a trade, we thought they would be, right? We didn't think Sacramento was going to make the playoffs. Didn't think the Bulls was going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We knew Lakers would be in the playoffs. And was hit or miss if Mavs can come back and make the playoffs, right? We knew Golden State was possibly going to be in the play-in. We knew Miami was possibly going to be playing with or without Jimmy. So all these moves that were made for this team to end up where they would have been. It's very interesting how that shakeup is. The only trade that's even early in the season, Cat to New York, we figured Minnesota would be a 6 between 3 and 6 anyway. We
Mhm.
knew New York would be 1 to 3, whether they made that move or not. So it's going to be interesting if one of these teams that made a trade can get to the finals, or one of these homegrown teams like OKC, like Boston, like Cleveland can make it to the finals, or Orlando. You know,
True. And then we got to factor in what are going to be the upsets in these playoffs.
I don't know.
I feel like somebody's coming after Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
we'll see.
but I think we can end this Lakers in 5 rhyming thing, because it ain't gonna be Lakers in 5.
I want to see what Shannon has to say tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Gonna swing at the Lakers in 6.
A new rhyme pattern. Huh?
New round gotta happen.
I mean, that guy, he knew that, That sounds cool. But that wasn't going to happen. So today, Cade Cunningham shot 8 of 21 and had 21 points. Anything that sound wrong? Sound weird?
Mm-hmm. Where was that defense 21-0?
Was that what?
So where was the defense when they ran out 21-0 on them?
You know what I loved about the playoffs is that all the chit
Yeah,
and
the
the
defense is supposed.
all the shit and the chatter comes to an end. All the talking. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Big John, can you hear me?
All of it. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All the chatter ends. It's grit time now.
It's over with. People been talking what they're going to do. Dallas last night, several players did nothing when they were on the court. And I think that's because
Not
AD's
sure.
addition puts people
Oh.
in places that they are not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Plus, Kyrie's out, so you have people who are not used to being primary ball handlers for that long.
Mm-hmm. It's like Jalen Duren today, 3 for 4, 7 points. Let's see what Anthony Edwards is talking about.
We tell them every game, man, be the MVP. Be the MVP of the game on both sides of the ball. And we knew this series, man, they was going to have faith that he wasn't going to be aggressive all night. And we told him throughout the whole week, hey, be aggressive the whole game. Don't stop shooting. Find your spots. Trust yourself. Trust your work. And he did that. And here you go right here, the MVP of the night, baby.
Jaden, let's talk to you real quick before we let you guys go. Just, again, what you were thinking out there, hitting all those shots, having to take on the toughest cover tonight. What was your mindset?
Man, just going out playing with confidence. I know all my teammates trust me. And
Oh, they're making people work, man.
no matter what.
They're going to make the entire Lakers team work.
You said
There's no collapsing on Ant.
Yeah, Jaden can hit shots. They can hit shots.
Mm-hmm.
Even Rudy wasn't a liability because you don't have a center.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have a center to take him out the paint. It was just interesting because Lakers wasn't hitting shots and they wasn't playing good defense. They wasn't playing with a lot of intensity until they got it back down to 12. But that intensity wasn't there when it needed to be.
Jackson Hayes, 0 for 2, 1 point. Wow.
You can tell they were frustrated because they got to pushing and shoving and holding and getting texts. So
I wonder what JJ Redick is going to come with. I got to watch post-game interviews tonight.
I'll give credit to JJ, right? Because JJ gonna keep it real. He said in that fourth quarter interview, that they didn't play hard enough. There was no playoff intensity.
This is my question. How does a team come out with no playoff intensity? Like, I'm watching the Atlanta Hawks last night on a play-in game to solidify an 8 seed, and people are chilling.
Yeah, win and go home.
It's odd. It's almost like when those
You see Trae Young.
Yeah, like you look at Trae Young.
Trae Young came out today saying, "Get rid of the play-in."
He said what? What did he say?
Trae Young came out today saying, "Get rid of the play-in." Get rid of the play-in. You play 82 games. How come that should be enough to determine who goes to the playoffs?
Okay, but how do you disappear in your game and then come out and say that? How does that happen?
How do you defensively disappear in an OT?
That's what I'm saying. And then you come out today and say, "Get rid of play-in."
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different. That's wild. Now, there are parts of me that says, why do we need to play it? I mean, we know why. We have the answers. There's more TV, there's more games, there's more revenue to get all that. But why do you need it? Why can't we go back to the top 8 again?
When you take revenue out, the play-in still hasn't stopped people from tanking. Right?
No, it
didn't stop Utah. So what is it really doing besides an extra 4 games?
I think that's the end all be all right there. I don't think it's going to do much more. Interesting stuff. Denver Nuggets come. What's up? Go ahead.
That's the game I was going to go to, the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, Denver Nuggets come back.
What's up with this ball grabbing?
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. I saw that. Don't know what that was. Some of these series people are going 6-7 games. This stuff is not going to be quick in the first round. People want to work for it. Tomorrow we get a whole new batch of games. But this Denver Clippers series is very entertaining. I mean, James Harden had a magnificent game today. Still got lost. I mean, all these Zubac, Leonard, Harden.
What's up with
What's up with who? I think we got a little bit of a delay.
Aaron Gordon, did you see his interview? Like he's been fighting for all his life. What's up with that?
What did Aaron?
He got like a black eye, busted lip.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was. That was even before the game, so I don't know if he failed.
He didn't say that he had an interview before the game.
Did he say anything about it?
No, not that I know of. Well, I thought you might have seen something.
We got the Collection MB. What's up, fellas? Love the show. Glad to catch the show live today. Big John came back. We're glad to have you. Gerard. What it do, fam? What's up? Good to have you here. Smoothness, the Bucks look bad. Yeah, the Bucks won't be around long.
Good to have you, Gerard.
I don't even think they're going to be around long if Dame comes back.
He'll be back in game 2.
He's going well. We'll see how that goes. He gets a
But
technical.
they play in Indiana.
But he gets a technical today in street clothes. How do you get a technical in street clothes?
It ain't helping your team out at all.
Not at all. Jamal Murray had a great game. It's gonna be some tough series here, people. We still don't know if injuries are gonna pop up, but there's gonna be some series here that are gonna be night after night. Somebody's got to grind.
I mean, I don't want teams to have excuses because of injuries, but they will happen.
Very true. Trae Young, I'm still tripping off of that.
All the moves in the offseason, I'm expecting a lot.
Well, say it again.
You think what? I'm expecting a lot of movement in the offseason.
I just wonder if any of those moves get a team to another level. Like Trae Young is probably not coming back to Atlanta.
We started off talking about wow. Okay, I'm having some technical difficulties. Can you see me?
I can. You're frozen, and we have a lag. What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
My screen went black for some reason.
Like Trae Young,
and it just did it again.
Where will he go that makes a team better to get deeper in the playoffs? I feel like we have the Trae Youngs of the world, the Ja Morants of the world, the LaMelo Balls of the world. Where do they go to really make a team better? Well, you can't really couple them with a big man. Like how does that? And I think these are the questions that you have these players who are averaging points and maybe all-star eligible or there, but if they go someplace else, you don't know how that works out. Just don't know.
I don't know. I seen a report today where, like, Sacramento talks about trading Sabonis to Chicago for Vucevic. Why do you want to trade with Chicago? Like, why you already got two pieces from Chicago? Why do you want the third? That didn't work. That didn't win.
It's weird.
Like, when you want to avoid, all right, you have DeRozan, you have Levine. It didn't work in Chicago. What makes you think it's going to work in Sacramento if you get Vucevic?
But when I look at Sabonis, every year he goes to the playoffs and he reduces his game.
Mm-hmm.
Plays worse. Like, what's that guy going to do in Chicago?
I don't know.
Maybe those are salary moves. Maybe those are monetary moves. Could be, but doesn't do anything to actually winning.
I was just wondering what these teams that are these GMs that are building teams and what do they think?
I would think most of them have to be thinking, how do I maximize my contract before I get fired? Because
when you look at Nico, right? As I still stand by what I said on the trade making sense for the time period they made the trade. Everybody stayed healthy. AD stayed healthy. You may be talking about this differently, but you knew that going in that AD is going to be in street clothes a lot. You made that trade.
I think that was strictly a financial trade.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay Luka $313 million. And then the Lakers are not going to pay him that. So he's not going to get paid.
Oh, Lakers gonna pay him.
Not 313.
But he won't get that from Lakers. No. His max is less.
Yes, this is what everybody knows. But if he
still
says
gets the max.
he gets that money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's losing $75 million
Plus taxes. So about 100 million, about 120 million.
Mm-hmm. And I think Dallas is good with not playing well right now to ensure that money doesn't get paid to my man. And also, we don't know what Dallas knows about Luka. We don't know that.
Yeah, but take the what they don't know money off the table. You knew that Anthony Davis was injury prone, and that came once he got there. Almost every game he played in, he had some Nick hurt, was out the next couple games, and you didn't make the playoffs after coming from the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Like I stand by what I said to make trade for all the reasons with money and what they know about Luka that we don't know about Luka. But right now, that trade doesn't look as good without all the other reasons being public.
But those reasons will never be public.
Yeah. Now next year with a healthy Kyrie, with a healthier AD, hopefully, and some pieces, maybe the trade looks much better.
No, I actually think next year Dallas starts getting rid of people, and AD
including the coach.
Yeah, AD could be one of those people.
No, I'm talking including the coach.
Oh yeah, I mean he's on borrowed time anyway. So I still think of Jason Kidd as a guy who orchestrated water being spilled so he could get a timeout, and he didn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So his days are pretty much numbered.
I never thought of Jason Kidd as a good coach.
Oh, neither have I. No, not at all. I don't think he could really probably couldn't really coach Luka. I don't know how many times I watched the game and I saw them talking to each other. I've never seen that. I watch a lot of Dallas Mavericks games. You don't see them talking to each other at all. So you're the leading point guard. Even when Kyrie first came, you're the man. No, you don't really talk to your coach. I don't see y'all talking in the huddle. I don't see you looking over and really talking about anything during the game. So, but I believe Dallas will trade Luka, get a bum AD that's always hurt, and then get rid of people and get more people before you pay this man $313 million. When you know X, Y, and Z, that's not going to go public. Michael Finley walked up and took a beer out of Luka's hand for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been anywhere. I've had uncles that were alcoholics, and somebody's taking a beverage out of their hand at a family function because somebody knows something about that person. And if they keep drinking right now, what's about to happen in 4 hours? And probably how they're going to add chaos to this situation. And Dallas, I believe, has said, we don't believe in Luka physically. There are some things we know. And when people start leaking that we don't believe in him in 5 to 7 years, why is that? I mean, why don't you believe in a 25-year-old in 5 to 7 years? Because he might have some habits. He might have some habits that other people are not vibing with. And I don't think Nico pulled the trigger on the trade by himself.
No, of course not.
You got sign off from people.
That was owner. That was sign off on the owner.
Yeah, why is the owner sign off on that? Is it just because they want the team moved so they can have a casino? No.
Sign off on it without Mark Cuban knowing.
Well, he's a minority owner, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He signed those privileges away.
Mm-hmm.
I always ask the question though. I asked a few people today when I was out. Why do people believe so much in Luka Doncic? And I got stares from people. Like, what has he done? What's on his resume? Where you're like, I believe in that dude. Because he scores points. He put up a 70 piece against the Washington Wizards. If people feel good about that. But he'll go to the playoffs and in a meaningful game, foul out. Anthony Edwards today is coming at him. Do you see any highlights? Do you see some defensive highlights today?
No, I seen him. I seen effort of him trying to play defense. It just wasn't good defense.
So again, why are people so enamored? There are people in Dallas that are burning jerseys, calling for resignation. Nico is getting death threats. Why? Stack can keep the bonus. We don't want. Yeah, he kind of disappears a little bit. I don't know what's up. Double guy all year. Trae Young to the Magic. They need a guard, but you can try that. I don't know if that makes Orlando that much better. You can try that. I don't know. Has he played with a player to the caliber of Paolo or Franz Wagner? Who's taking a step back when that happens? Franz Wagner taking a step back? I'm not shooting it down because Trae Young will be somewhere like that. Kyrie may not be back until March next year. Yeah, when you tear ACL, it depends on what the severity of the tear. Yeah.
They don't have it.
What's that?
They don't have. I was looking at footage. So there was a strip today by Mike Conley on LeBron in the third quarter. That was the smoothest strip you've seen. And LeBron doesn't even make it to half court before they score.
You know how LeBron does. You know, he's chilling. So now you got, Minnesota's about to set these guys up. You're going to attack a guy defensively, and you're going to attack another guy defensively. Let's see what they do.
There was a couple plays that Minnesota did that I hope Memphis coaches actually see, because they were in the paint, driving into the paint and getting Gobert easy lobs at the basket. And if I'm Memphis and I want to get Zach Edey easy points in the paint, some going to the paint, those are the type of players they need to find.
True, I agree with that.
Because they were just driving below the free throw line to drop it up like a floater.
Mm-hmm.
And Gobert, dunker spot, catch, dunk, easy. And Tuesday, we watched that game, and I was like, if you can implement these plays with Ja and Edey, easy extra 10 points a game. Easy way to stop a scoring drought. Have a go-to play. That's one thing.
Go ahead.
When you watch like the Warriors play, when they get in a drought, air tug. They go to their go-to play, right? Their go-to action to get a score.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm OKC, I'm sending Hartenstein on the mission. Like Hartenstein and Chet, it's got to get Edey in foul trouble almost every night. They got to make that dude work.
Yeah,
and they're quicker than him. So that's the only way I understand to try to see what Edey's really made of. make him work, try to pull him out, and make him move his feet.
I get it. You have to. I would play them off minutes because you got Bam, and even if Chet's going to be shooting, if Hartenstein is still in the post, Edie can just switch off, and then Bam guards Chet. So I think you got to play them off minutes so that you can get Edie in more actions with Chet, and keep Bam on the other side of the defensive court. Not Bam, I'm sorry, Jaren Jackson Jr.
I know you meant.
Yeah. To me, they're the same player, so.
They are the same player. JJJ probably just shoots a few more threes, but yeah, they're the same.
They're the same player.
Yeah. I actually saw Bam kind of step up the other night. He was playing a team that all their centers want to shoot. So, but
what else? So, what you do today?
I went to the LA Card Show.
Okay, how was that?
It was good. It was in a corridor. You know, you have the mezzanine, I guess I would call it, of the stadium. It was in a section of that. Then they had a room, which is a practice room for the Clippers. So they covered the floor, and they had that room set up. The whole show was mostly Pokemon.
Okay.
Mostly Pokemon. There's a lot of, and what that brings to me, which I think is cool, you get hey Jenny, what's up? Good day,
Jenny.
What's up? Good to have you here. With that, you have a younger group coming through, and you have a lot of diversity in the room.
Nice. Did Junior pick up anything?
No, he was looking at some Pokemon cards today. But him and G both at one point, but never picked anything up. We were also there with Canvas Marketing today, kind of moving around. They were trying to sell some product, and I found myself, both G and I, filming a little bit. They had some raffles and some giveaways and stuff. So it was a cool day, man. I hadn't been to a show, I think, since the Burbank show a while ago, months ago. So it was good. It was good to see.
I haven't been to a show in a minute either.
Yeah, it was cool to be out. So, somebody referenced you. We were talking about the podcast and you being the co-host, and had a few conversations with people that sell sports cards, just about what are people asking for. They told me the seasonal plays that people usually do right now: basketball, baseball, football coming in a few months. You know, I would work in retail, so I would love to kick back and just see you setting up and you're at a show that is 90% Pokemon and you have sports cards on your table. How's that day going for you? I don't know. There's a large shift right now to TCG.
Yes.
And I understand why. I was talking to someone about that today. You can't keep buying. I'm not going to use any names here. You really just can't keep buying a player or players who have off the court issues, underperform, or get hurt a lot.
You also can't keep buying products that are unlicensed with no chasers or with no autos or no rookies, no prospect. And you also can't just keep prospecting.
Sure.
Like, there's only so many inner player rookie cards, inner player name here, rookie cards I can continue buy and flip, continue buy and flip, continue buy and flip.
But then let's say you've bought a guy, and then that guy does X, and his prices are dropping. You've also bought another guy who that person is doing Y, and then their prices keep dropping. And then they have a 40-point game, and it's like, but I've seen this before. And then the next game they have an 8-point game.
You would say Charizard don't tear ACL, Pikachu don't get arrested.
True. It depends on the demographic attending the show. It could work to your benefit, being the only deal with sports cards if collectors are looking for that. But again, Collection MB, 90%, 85% of the show is not what you're offering. But you see tables with TCG well populated. People are there moving, grooving, doing their thing.
Yeah, it depends on what people come to the show for. Because if you're on a table with sports cards and you get the people that's looking for sports cards, you still can have a good day, right? Just because you don't have Pokemon. But if you a dealer and you're savvy and you see that shows mostly Pokemon, if you got a little cash, why aren't you going out to these tables and trying to get you some Pokemon too?
This is what I was walking around thinking about. I'm not typically a vendor, but this is what's on my mind. I can't take ice to Antarctica and try to get people to buy ice when they're on something else for quite a bit of time. I don't think this TCG move is going to fall apart anytime soon. I mean, if you look at the reports of what people are sending in the grade, it's a growth engine right now, people.
But even without that, right? When I was in middle school, elementary school, it's Pokemon. I was buying Pokemon. Then you got kids who are watching cartoons, seeing Pokemon. Oh, I want to buy Pokemon. I want to get into Pokemon. Then you have the adults. Okay, let's go get back into it with you. We start collecting together. Recollect. I used to tell those stories, those time together. So it all circles around.
Then while I'm there, I'm starting to understand how much Junior knows Pokemon, understands Pokemon, what he's talking about. We're at a table today, and the vendor is like, "Yeah, this dude he's learning this."
Yeah, Junior put in that work.
Yeah, it's cool to see. We first started going to shows, Big John. He was just shaking hands, and then started asking a few questions. And most of them were Pokemon related, but he still has some kind of a sense of what's going on in sports and different players that are out there. Again, on sports, I saw certain price points. Great show. Saw certain price points of certain players.
What was it? Anything special you seen while you were looking? Anything good? They had to see a couple good Kobe's, right?
A lot of boxes. There were a lot of boxes being moved. A lot of unopened boxes. Oh, cards too, but you saw people walking around with several unopened boxes. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, this show is a lot different. And there are other shows of its kind. So it's not just that show. It's a lot different than it was 3 years ago. There are things that are changing. Which is cool. There's an evolution of things. But if you see an LA card show, well organized, music playing, food truck outside, bathrooms any direction you want to walk in, and the Intuit Dome is You walk into that bathroom, there are stalls, urinals galore. You're not waiting on anything. Water coming out of the faucet at the right temperature, not freezing. Plenty of space. You had the promoter on the microphone running raffles, hyping up the crowd, talking about future giveaways. Very approachable. Big John and I approached him about coming on here and talking to us. Very, very approachable person. It was a great event.
That's good.
When
Let's talk to him. See what's going on.
Yeah. I'm gonna send him a note. When Pokemon starts number cards, it ought to be interesting seeing the hype cycle reactions. True. Yeah, true. I can see that. Did you see the Paul Skeens bobblehead? Did you see the crowd for that?
No. I bet you it was crazy.
It was banana. Let me see if I can find some pictures here.
I gotta get some Pokemon autos when I go to the show in June.
Look at this crowd, dude.
You talking about Junior Trigger? Trigger something I need to look up for Paxton. Finally trying to find a Squishmallow checklist for.
Oh, okay.
Put this binder together.
Big John, would you stand in this for a bobblehead?
How long, Noah? No.
Speaking of lines, there was a line outside the show today to get.
Yeah, I see it from Stock and Trade.
That was a line. We were inside when that thing started forming. I mean, in the quick conversation I had with the promoter, he was very thoughtful of the people outside standing in line.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to do as much as he could to help those individuals. I don't know the ins and outs of what happened, but it's a situation where you're in a smaller venue, you have a show in a bigger venue, the demand, people come out, you still have rules of the fire marshal.
Mm-hmm.
So then what do? Burbank went through this.
Yep.
Year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So that almost tells you got to find a bigger spot. But how do you do that?
Bigger spot, bigger problems, security,
yeah,
staff.
Pokemon Auto is going to the moon. Hero 3 actually, Lakers win. No, not even close. Hero 3. 117 to 95. Timberwolves won. Shannon's energy, LeBron James, results the same. Luka the blind. Lakers out. Oh, I love that. I gotta take a picture of this. That's a cool one right there. Oh, I gotta get another one here. Hold on. Yeah, we were talking earlier that the whole Lakers and 5 stuff, it sounds cool. That's just like everyone making up these. I was playing for G on the way to the show today. Some of these LeBron James songs.
Yo, they are wilding with these songs. And I'm mad. Some of them are actually good.
But you would think this dude had like an MVP caliber year, something going on. Like, where's this coming from? I guess someone being creative, some other people being creative.
Yeah. Just being creative. I'm talking about the man on like.
Well, it kicked off for us. We were on the road, and Man in the Mirror came on. And I was like, man, have y'all heard this LeBron James song? And Junior and G was like, nope. And then I just turned it on. They were amazed. Someone really made this? Yeah. Oh, yeah. What else we got here? We talked about the Pacers. And I'm trying to see what the Halliburton do. Giannis had 36. Halliburton had 10. Shot 3 of 13. 12 assists. You think Halliburton ever changed his shot, man? Update his game?
Probably not. You got him this far.
Glory stories. Cubs wanted that 62 of the Diamondbacks.
Oh, Cubs are balling. Did you that game night before last? Or last night where they were 16 runs in one inning, basically between the two teams. Trading bats are hot in April. That's a good sign.
Who's the manager of the Cubs now?
Craig Counsell.
That's right.
Yeah, it came from the Brewers.
Yeah.
They said last year when they got him that he was good for an extra 10 wins just off being a good manager. So didn't come to fruition last year, but we'll see this year. Got a better squad. Cal Tucker's playing good. PCA's playing good. The interesting thing is their defense is great up the middle. And you have their catchers with reverse splits. So it's been amazing. Carson Kelly usually catches the lefties and he rakes against righties. And Amaya catches the righties and rakes against lefties. So they are really just alternating and staying hot. They got to figure out third base still, but
I see.
Well, baseball's interesting right now. You basically got Juan Soto kind of subtly throwing his team on the Mets under the bus. Basically saying,
he was just talking about I got trash batting behind me and in front of me.
I mean, he cleaned it up with the rest of the statement, but it's something different going from Aaron Judge, home run king, to Pete Alonso, who's still a good hitter and got power, but nobody's afraid of Pete Alonso as they're afraid to pitch to Aaron Judge.
But it makes you think, what did Soto think was about to go down?
I don't know.
You played all this baseball. What do you think was about to happen?
I don't know what you thought was going to go down. You were on the Yankees. They made a comparable offer, right? They made a really good offer.
I think sometimes, guys, it's about how do you handle criticism. And if your way of handling it is throwing somebody else under the bus, then you want Soto.
Well, no. I said this last year. I knew Soto was going to the Mets at the All-Star game because he looks up to Francisco Lindor. That's like his big brother. I knew he was going to go to the Mets just for that reason. Like when you watch last year's home run derby in the All-Star game, you see everybody. all the Dominican players are underneath Lindor. Like they're following Lindor, hanging with him. That's who they want to be around.
I remember you saying this. I do remember this. When, in your opinion, did the junk wax era end? And not referring to the wax to foil packaging.
I don't know if the junk wax ever fully ended. You got a lot of junk wax now.
You do.
You know, you got a lot of wax that.
What would you consider junk wax now? All the different colors?
Not I mean that, but like Hoops, Don Russ, right? Big League.
Can't argue with any of that.
You know, they're cheap products that's printed a lot. Then if you go into all other higher end products, you know, you go into the Prisms, Series 1. These are printed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you got 80,000 copies of base Wembanyama graded.
Graded, bro.
Graded. If I got 80,000 graded of this one card, how many was actually printed?
And then how many, even with that guy, how many out of 50s do you have?
Mm-hmm.
How many out of 20s do you have? How many out of 25s do you have? How many out of 125s do you have?
You know, you look at what Topps 3 counts out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Heard anything about it? Seen anybody breaking it? Seen anybody posting pictures of the cards?
Only person I saw breaking it, and I guess I kind of watched this person break some stuff, is Pac-Man. It's the only person I've seen breaking it, talking about it, showing what the product looks like.
I ain't seen no cards on Instagram on
No, I haven't
Twitter.
seen any of that. No.
Nothing about it.
That's still Rookie's Wemby product.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be getting Rookie Wemby products from Topps to 2027.
Who's the top player coming out in this draft?
Cooper Flag. Okay. Top hype paper player, Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Because I don't. It's just my basketball gut. I just don't look at him and see franchise changing player. I just don't see that.
Mm-hmm. It's all going to depend if he can be coached.
That will put us in a 50-year plus junk wax era as it started in 1974.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And most of the cars that you hear about or that are selling for big dollars, numbered and very short printed.
Super factors.
Yes, and they
go
have
to 10 out of 5.
That's right. Certain situations around them.
I mean, that's why these debut patch cards are important, because they're the only true rookie 1 of 1. There's not another image variation of this card in a set. There's not another card, another product in a set that's like this. Like, you can get Logo Mans in 3 different sets? National Treasures, Flawless, and I think it's another one. Mm-hmm. Right? These debut patches, that Paul Skeens, that's the only one. With that patch, with his signature, that's it. You won't see it coming out of another product. You won't see it out of 10, out of a 99. That's it. Smooth is actually a good question.
What does Smooth say? Are there any current players, autos, you wouldn't mind holding that's not a rookie card? Yeah. Gotta be an exceptional player.
I mean, if I got a LeBron auto, I wouldn't mind holding it. Or Steph auto. Man, are we talking about for like selling in the future purposes or PC purposes? Because I get a Kobe White or Jimmy Butler auto, I'm holding it. Doesn't matter the year for me.
And to me, the real essence of this question is not a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear people all the time say, "Well, I'm not going to buy anything that's not a rookie," and I'm like, "Okay, so there are things I'm buying that's not rookies." It all depends on who the player is, especially if it's rare. Yeah. This is what I think all the time too. Maybe I'm naive, but if a bunch of people are doing the same things, what does that mean?
Okay. It's a bunch of people doing the same thing. Time to figure out where your lane is, what's different.
Yeah.
Listen.
Like, something that doesn't seem right to me if I see a bunch of people doing the same thing. And when you ask them, they don't have an answer.
Ain't nothing wrong with the same thing, right? You go down the bread aisle, that's 17 different brands of bread. Right? It's all the same thing. It's all bread. So ain't nothing wrong with the same thing. But if you want to stand out, you want to be unique, you got to do your own thing.
You have to.
You know?
So when I walk down the aisle and I see a bunch of bread, I ask myself, should I be eating bread? Why is this so popular, right? Because I remember as a kid, Big John, you got on a bread aisle, man. It was very small. There was no bread aisle. There was a bread section. I remember when bottled water first hit a grocery store and how small it was.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this growing? It's my question.
Now you got people, waking up and giving them a face an ice bath and expensive water.
Why? Because you saw some dude do it who played college football and never played. And you want to believe this guy is not on that espresso coffee?
Mm-hmm. No, it's funny, right? Because last week you got the dude from TikTok with the Saratoga water putting his face in his morning routine. Today, while watching the Lakers game, I seen the first ever I've ever seen of a Saratoga commercial. First one I've ever seen.
And supposedly the guy who was doing it wasn't even paid to endorse the product. Just doing it.
I don't think he ever got paid to endorse the product.
But that's just something I do. If I see a lot of people doing something, I'm asking myself why.
Programming does work.
Oh, it works. Oh, it definitely works. I'm telling you, I asked like 3 people today. Why do you really like Luka Doncic? What did he done? Did not receive answers.
He made it to the finals and lost. That's all he's done.
But there were people liking him. There were people liking him way before that. He's like, this dude is chosen to. Not really.
I mean,
well,
if he wins the championship this year, then he's just the same as Tatum.
Yeah, but he's not winning the championship this year.
Yeah, I said if. Then he's just the same as Tatum.
What if he loses against Minnesota? People act like that didn't happen. That did not go down. Well, they'll come up with excuses. Well, he scored 36 a night.
And if they lose against Minnesota, and you think LeBron is going to come back in year 21 at 41 years old and be able to lead them to a championship?
LeBron's never won another championship, but people will believe it, though. People will believe that. So today, I know they got blown out. Yeah, everybody had a bad. Everybody had a poor play.
But we ain't gonna gloss over. You know, I'm curious. What did the people have to say about me being the co-host? I'm curious. Hopefully,
I saw you had a new co-host.
Oh.
I've been watching you all. So it's positive stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious. You know,
I don't think it would be. Yeah, I believe what we're doing is very positive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think and if somebody came up to me and had some feedback, then I would take the feedback. But I don't see that. I see more people watching us. We're digging into critical thinking on stuff and subject matter where every show is not the same, and we're talking about totally different stuff. So there's some on cars we talk about. I feel better about what's to play than I probably have ever felt, Big John.
I appreciate it. We're trying to get better.
Yeah. We have conversations about things. We challenge ourselves. We're not sitting back and just, let's get on, press a button. It's nothing like that. So now I think that's what they were trying to convey, that I see newness. I see you have a different person, and I watch.
Well, I appreciate everybody. This is fun for us.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so. We got Brendan. They will give LBJ plasmoid treatment.
Allegedly.
Respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, this is what I want to talk about.
What we got?
Ant-Man celebration.
What is that? What is that? Is that Spider-Man? Like, I didn't know what that was.
Is it like the opposite of the playing the piano upside down or something? What is this? Like, it looks like it's a sideways gun motion thing. I'm not sure what this is.
Hold on, let's see. Can we find it on video? Because I saw the video when he hit the shot and did this.
It's like this. Like this. Like, what is this?
Hold on here. What is this dude doing? I saw this and I was like, now he's played around with like, I don't know what he's doing here. Let's see if they get into it. Hold on. Oh, this is Luca. Okay, where's Here we go. What does he do here?
Yeah, I like that. Pass it out.
What is he doing? It looks like he has a gun
sideways,
but then he like he turns a finger up, so it doesn't look like a gun. And
you pulling the trigger with your ring finger.
Yeah, and Luke is looking like, what is he doing?
That's weird. But you see how popular John Morant celebration got real quick?
You got international players.
Other NBA players doing it.
Yeah.
That's influence. It's influence. Didn't say it's positive.
I think it's some weak ass minded people. That's how I would describe it.
Those are people you first influence.
Could be first and last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a lot of weak ass minded people walking around that will just do anything they say. Why is anyone doing the Steph Curry night? I see it in WNBA. I see it in college basketball. I've seen it in boxing. I've seen it in soccer. I've seen it in female tournament. Wasn't anyone in the NBA doing that? It's interesting, right? But now we're taking our words, if you slow it down, and throwing that into the crowd and covering our ears.
See, this part of it, like this, when he just running back with his hands over his ears, I wouldn't mind that. Like, I'm blocking out the noise. I don't hear the noise. Like, I'd be fine. Why you got to do the first part of it? That's a little extra.
But you know, John Morant represents noise. He's noise. I don't know, man. Interesting to me. We got some comments here. 90s inserts are the best. 90s seem unstoppable in any sport. It means the programming works. If you go by market data over word of mouth, Kobe, MJ, Jay Rice, B. Sanders, King Griffey, main PC. Okay. They will give LBJ plasma. So the question I have, whenever I see like names like this, right? Did the person who says these names did they start collecting the person when the person was still a prospect? So in like 91, 92, you knew Griffey could play ball, but you still didn't know how long he was going to play, if he was going to suffer an injury, would he be traded? You didn't know any of that. So that's still a prospect. Same with Barry Sanders. I mean, when did we start? Was this person retired and then we said we're going to start collecting them? I always wondered that. Not just with ULP, but I wonder in general. When did we start collecting the true GOATs of the game?
So here's a question to go kind of piggy off that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we know how popular Caitlin Clark is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we missing the boat? Are we taking the $20 now when we should be saving for the $100 later?
Could be,
right? Is this the 86 Jordan? Knowing that she got her rookies in prison, knowing how popular she is, like, should we be knowing she doesn't have to play overseas and off season, so she probably have less injuries, not having to go travel and play overseas? Like, should we be actually holding her instead of flipping her? That's a question. We've just been short sighted with the flip, and the people who actually are collecting her are building a nest egg for 20 years now. When it's all said and done,
could be. Again, this goes back to the question: when does someone start collecting Caitlin Clark? And if we have collectors, are you collecting right now, rookie year going forward? Or did she gain that status? Almost start collecting her fourth year? Like, how does that work? I would love to go back and talk to some people who were buying Currys in 2009, and not Blake Griffin, not these other players, not the guard at UCLA, none of these other players. They were focused on Steph Curry and why. I would love to go back and talk to someone who was focused on Patrick Mahomes. Sitting the bench for a year. I don't care what anybody else is talking about. Those are the people that I want to hear from one day. I am on. There was an old episode of Chasing Cardboard that I watched, and there was a guy who was laser focused on Mahomes from the giddy up. He said that whole year this guy was buying. That's the intestinal fortitude that I want to hear somebody talk to me about why. This guy sold, I think, bought a house and still had more Mahomes sitting.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think there's got to be some people doing that with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
There had to be somebody. He didn't play.
Yeah.
He's out of mind. Maybe $100 here, $100 there, $200 card here, $200 card there, and see what happens with him.
But when you look at J.J. McCarthy play, what do you see? compared to when you saw Mahomes play at Texas Tech.
I didn't think much of Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech. I thought it was the offense he was in. I thought it was the air raid offense.
Ooh, I did not. I didn't think that. I didn't think what he's doing now. I'm gonna say that, but I thought he was a prolific passer coming out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, and you still doubt him now. So
I wouldn't say doubt him. I just don't get caught up on the hype train. He's not Joe Montana. He is not. He is definitely not Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying. And it's the same way with Caitlin Clark. Like I'm not saying she can't play ball. That's evident.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to save the WNBA. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, to an extent, she's not going to save the WNBA by herself.
This is my point.
But she is the reason for the growth in WNBA. Make no mistake about it. Nobody else in that rookie class is the reason for the growth. Not Angel Reeves, not Cameron Brink.
When I hear that, it's like saying, if someone gave me a reason why the card market jumped in 2020 and 2021, that's not something that we can go back to. Caitlin Clark is not going to pull the WNBA somewhere in the next 3 years by herself.
No, not by herself. But the initial jump is because of her.
Okay, that's cool. But that's
I'm just saying, no other team, right? Chicago Sky didn't move games because people wanted to see Angel Reese. They moved games in bigger arenas to sell tickets to the people who want to come see the opposing player, Caitlin Clark.
That's cool, Big John.
So that's what I mean.
That doesn't move the needle on anything for that sport in a professional manner. That's not going to do anything for the WNBA. This woman went to the playoffs and got put out.
Mm-hmm.
If she's never on a team that wins a championship, this is splash in the pan shit to me. Doesn't do anything long term. And we need this sport to grow long term. So again, if she's only riding around with her power forward center, they're going to be easy out again this year.
No, they got a much better squad this year. They got a much better squad.
But it doesn't do anything for the sport, man.
But
we have been through.
I understand where you're coming from.
Cooper won 4 championships in a row.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark coming in 2023 or 2024 is not about. This is about people with social media and things now that other players didn't have, turning their head to something. But after you turn your head and you see something once or twice, what happens after that?
No, it's okay. When did they start marketing Michael Jordan? It wasn't in 85. It wasn't in 86. It wasn't in 87. It wasn't in 88.
No, they started marketing. There were articles about Michael Jordan being better than Dr. J his rookie year.
But when did the big campaign go in? When he got with Nike? So that was what, 89, 90?
No, but he won a slam dunk contest in 85, 86. Mike was taking flight. Mike Jordan started taking flight not long after joining the NBA. His second year, he broke his foot and came back and was destroying people in the playoffs.
I'm aware of the broken foot. I was only 2, but I'm aware of the broken foot.
Oh, I'm in there watching, Big John.
Yeah, I'm saying, but the transition from being a tape delay sport with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson to be in my time, right? Really started with the campaign Is It the Shoes with him and Spike Lee. And
I don't think part of it. But before that, like when I was a kid and Jordan was a rookie, there's no game tape delayed. There's 0 game. I'm watching Michael Jordan at night. I'm watching the game. There's no tape delay. That was before Mike Jordan.
But again, I don't think she can do it alone.
But that was the narrative.
Right.
This is what people were saying. And I'm going to keep saying to people that's never going to happen.
No, she can't do it alone. I'm agreeing. But I will give her 70% of the credit for the jump.
Well, that's cool.
Because the game didn't jump. As great as AJ Wilson is, game didn't jump because of her. as great as Enrique.
That's because you've seen these players before. You've seen the Asia West. You saw Lisa Leslie play.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it. You've never seen Caitlin Clark. You've never seen a person pull. But I'm saying, after you have seen that over and over again, and it's not producing fruit, she's not winning multiple rings. What are people going to do with that?
Yeah, but the difference is the NBA is thriving because they have multiple stars. Whether that's not necessarily a face, but I just seen during the Lakers game a commercial of Shea with Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you watch the NBA Cup, that whole montage is of all the team's top players, right? Not just one person from the NBA. There are Chris Paul had commercials, right? And he had his teammates in there from whatever team he went to. Like the NBA is marketing the individual stars, even the LeBron commercials. WNBA is marketing one person and then teams. Not,
but I would still say the marketing of Caitlin Clark is
bad. It's bad.
It's horrible.
The marketing for Unrivaled was amazing.
And
right?
again, Caitlin Clark didn't play in that.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark won't shoot at the All-Star game for the WNBA. When you are on center stage, she won't involve herself in that. And even in the commercial that she's in with Nike, she's not talking.
No.
But hear other people talking. I hear Paige talking.
But my point is with the Unrivaled is that they market that thing very well. Mm-hmm. They market the individuals, the stars, the concept, what you're going to see at the games, the experience. WNBA has to have somebody with foresight that wants to be a partner with the players to market the game in a 2027 type manner. Not some marketing in 2025. That's how do we get ahead of the curve in our marketing?
Do you see Caitlin Clark being in a movie?
No.
I don't see Caitlin Clark wanting to even do an interview. What interview have you seen with Caitlin Clark in it?
Just the one with Time magazine, was it?
No, that was a written. I'm talking about an interview. That was a written article that I spoke to Caitlin Clark. And this is the conversation we had. I asked these questions. She gave these answers. I'm talking about when you sit down and get personable with an individual and you see them taking on these questions and facial expressions and all and giving you back an answer.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that. And I wonder why. I wonder why that is.
I'm very curious to what the card market for WNBA cards is going to be this year. Once you get out of the Caitlin Clark rookie game.
Oh, it might still be. We're talking about Wemby. There might still be Caitlin Clark rookie cards coming.
I said once you get out of the Caitlin cards, you got to go to Page.
That could be 2 to 3 years of this. We've seen this with Wemby.
We have.
I mean, who's coming out of the WNBA? Who's coming? Page? Who's coming out of the WNBA right now that's about to snatch people and grab their attention? Page?
No, people that like Page, that love Page, they're UConn fans. And they're going to be Dallas fans. I see a highly segmented people not liking Page because she's not like them, but she's like the newer generation of kids and young people her age who's very in tune to TikTok, how to market, how to be themselves. And again, she's a person who's unapologetic herself, and that's going to rub a certain segment of people the wrong way. That they can't influence and put their beliefs onto her.
And that's what they've tried to do, Big John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
A WNBA Space Jam.
I don't see that Okay, so someone said something about
But why we can't have? Why is that be a Space Jam? Why we can't have an original movie?
we should have an original movie.
Like, then you said you went and saw Sinners, right?
Yeah.
That's an original story. It's
Yes.
not based off other movies that's done. And when it comes to movies, I need originality.
I don't blame you. So Hero 3 says golf tour. Let me pull up something here, people. I've seen this. And you tell me, hey, maybe I could be wrong. I got erases on my pencils.
Understanding how much I enjoy it and how peaceful it is. It's like such a nice way to get away from basketball and what your reality is every single day, and just to do something.
Okay. Do you see her face?
Barely.
Hero 3. I'm telling you, man, I try to do my due diligence. I've seen this stuff. What I'm getting from Caitlin Clark, if somebody could tell me I'm wrong, she could tell me to my face after you know what the hell you're talking about. She wants to play basketball, and she doesn't want to mess with this other stuff. This does not look like a person right here that's doing an interview. So if I came on here like this, am I exuding to you that I want to talk to Big John tonight?
Nah.
I want to feel these questions and have this conversation, or I'll come in here. Let's keep rolling here.
Where you can like calm your mind and be away from people and be outside. I think one of my favorite stories is when Steph Curry, I think it was the playoffs, and I think it was the finals, they had just lost and he didn't play very well. And the next day they had off and he didn't want to go to the gym. He wanted to go to the golf course and just hit balls. And then the next day he came out and had like 45 points and shot really well. And I think it just shows like how nice of a calming aspect it is for professional athletes, but also the competitive side of it. You understand like this is an escape for us too. Like it's that peaceful. And I know MJ is really competitive with it.
Also, Caitlin Clark knows she's wearing an Augusta National hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can women be members of Augusta National?
Yeah. There's one.
Since when?
There's Condoleezza Rice was the first one.
Okay. And how many more do they have? What year was that?
12 years ago. Because I just watched something on this, so I know.
Okay.
Because there's no women's tournament, but there's a pre-tournament.
There's no women's tournament.
Before.
There's
a pre-woman tournament before the week before the Masters.
Okay.
For something else.
Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. Oh no, I want you to see it. She's Larry Bird. I would say Larry Bird has more personality in front of a camera than Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Like is what you're saying. Yeah, I can see that. But seeing her at the Pacers game last night, she got the biggest cheer. That's the appearances she's going to make. And that's not the appearances that's going to carry a league. And these are the conversations. You don't hear any big network talking about this. She's not going to carry a league that way. You can't get, like, I think tonight or the other night, some night, she was at a game. No, the Pacers game. Mm-hmm. Her new coach is commentating. She's up in the booth with her coach's children. That's cool. People, that's cool. But that's not going to carry a league. And that's not going to get people that don't watch the WNBA to watch. And it's not going to inspire people to believe in you. And I want to see you play. And believe me, that's a lot for a person to take on. But somebody has to do it.
So we talk about with NBA, why certain players don't want to be the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Clayton. Like, does she want to be the face?
I don't think she
because
does.
she's the de facto face. It is not, it's not what she asked for. It's not. It is what it is.
Yeah.
She became the face of women's basketball her junior year in Iowa.
That's right.
It wasn't. she wasn't going after that. She didn't ask for it. She got it.
She was a baller, came out and played, and people said, I want you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's uncomfortable for her. Just like when people put their messaging on top of her, it's uncomfortable. It would be uncomfortable for me. If people told me to come on here and deliver a message, it would be uncomfortable for me. And that may be more why it's harder to look up. And celebrity coaching is not going to answer all of that. It's not going to get it.
But again, they need to market more.
They do.
People.
But who's going to be who are those players?
Nafisa, Sabrina, Nafisa Collins, Sabrina, Aja, Kelsey. They need to market more. Angel Reese, they need to market more of their top stars, of their all-stars, of their Olympians.
Angel Reese has more of her personality type is what is needed. And people don't like her.
No. That doesn't mean they shouldn't market her.
Big John, I don't think you're gonna see that, man. Right now, we look at TV. When the last time you saw an Angel Reese commercial?
People pay a lot of money to see the villain go down.
I still don't see that though. We don't see that. When is that gonna come? No, we don't see that.
Like I'm just saying, it works. It works in boxing. It works in wrestling. People pay a lot of money to see the villain go down.
But people don't watch female boxing. I'm talking about female sports. People don't watch female boxing.
Okay, you got me there.
And this same topic is becoming more and more difficult for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have players that people really want to hear from and see. And then that game backs it up. People fail to realize that your game has to back it up. If you're just out here talking, like most of these guys we see today, we'll watch these playoffs and see what happens to them. They'll be gone, back at home, gone. They'll be Trae Young talking about, I don't know why we got to play in, but last night you played like trash.
Mm-hmm. If you could,
sports back when we were growing up had players who would talk, deliver, and you could market them. Isaiah Thomas.
time out. Somebody clip that. FD just said something nice about Isaiah Thomas.
I mean, you can market him.
You won't ever get that again.
But after he lost to the Bulls and walked off the court, what did you see of Isaiah Thomas?
No.
Then he tried to go in. The marketing was over.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tried to see him go into an organization, and then we saw what happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to see Isaiah Thomas. The NBA is not going to market Isaiah Thomas. That's not going to happen.
So Brendan says, if you could time travel and tell Tim Duncan to flash it up a bit, would you? Yes, I would tell him. Would he listen? No.
I wouldn't even tell him. I would say, Tim, keep doing what you're doing. Off glass all night. I wouldn't even tell him. Nope. Let that man be that man. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Let Caitlin Clark come out and ball out. Let her do a thing. Then we want to put all this pressure on her. Just like Tim Duncan. If you came out and told him, Tim, you got to go address this media, show some charisma. Let me see you to some charisma classes. Let me see you to some celebrity coaching. I got it. Now he can't be himself. And then it becomes a problem.
Feed the gods.
Good evening. What's up, Feed the Gods?
What's up?
What's going down? I love this kind of dialogue, though, because you got to have certain things come together. Man, if Michael Jordan would have went to the microphone, sound like LaMelo Ball? That's not going to work, man. Spike Lee's not coming in. I just don't see that working. And the whole Nike program was built on who this guy is on and off the court. Not only how does he address himself with people, what is he talking about when it comes to the mic? And we know now that Mike Jordan on the court was nothing like he was in a post-game interview. Zeke was the best in the 80s. To be the man, you have to beat the man. He beat Bird and Magic. Yeah, he beat some. Yeah, he beat him. And Michael at their apex. Bird and Magic were older, but he beat them.
So how good was Sinners?
Like which Sinners?
Sinners. How good was the movie?
Oh, it's very good. No, it's very good. One thing I'll say without giving any spoilers, you take the premise that everybody's not telling the truth about something. Somebody's lying about something. You mix that in a bowl with racism, bigotry. How does that affect people? Almost mistruths in your own family, you know. You combine that with people wanting to do right and trying to find a way out. That's Sinners. That's the best way I would describe it without saying anything about what happened in that movie.
Okay.
If you combine all of that together and you don't see those perspectives, you don't see anything talking about Southern Black church in a story wrapped around something totally has other stuff going on, but there's a little bit for this character. There's a foundation that's there. And their understanding is this on a situation where everybody else understands maybe something else. So many different messages are being, the Band-Aid is being snatched off, and you got to deal with it in that movie. But a lot of characters in that movie, you got to deal with it.
Okay.
That's why I would like to see it again. And I was wide awake. It was 10:05 in the morning. I'm ready. I got up that morning, Friday morning. I'm ready to watch. So I was catching almost everything that was being thrown. I would like to just see it again. Great movie, man. Curry, Dream, MJ, Pip, Durant, Bird.
Repeat the God's question.
Who would be your dream team for NBA team? Oh, with everyone being in their prime. Now, this would be a squad. This would be a squad. Did you hear Ant-Man give his top 5 the other?
Yeah.
He put LeBron at the point guard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that. Woo! You think Ant-Man? So when I saw that, right, I'm thinking, is Ant-Man trying to butter people up before he tries to get at them? Why would you put Bron at the point before you play him? Okay. Oh, Bron didn't fall for that. Curry. Oh, Big John says Curry, MJ, Kobe, Shaq, Dunk. Now that's a squad. That is a squad. Oh, wow. So do you have Kobe at the 3?
Yeah.
That's a squad. Kobe played.
Can I get D-Rose coming off the bench?
Yeah, you can get D-Rose come off the bench. I'm glad you went with the greatest point guard of all time, though. It's gonna make us all.
We gotta shoot that thing from the 3.
Yeah, it's gonna make us all sleep better tonight. Whenever you bring up greatness like that, young greatness, you ever go back and watch the game I think it's Curry's rookie year, where he plays. Golden State plays Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas. Damn. What Golden State plays AI. That's an interesting game to watch because at that time, people are probably saying AI is top guard of something or blah, blah, something or another. But I don't think anybody's saying that now. If MJ was a hermit like Duncan, it wouldn't have. And I think that's what I'm saying. But there's no disrespect to Tim Duncan to not want to receive some of these questions and placate people and come across a certain way. He didn't want to do it. So a lot of people will look down on him because of that and say this and that, but Tim said, I'm gonna dribble this ball and shoot. I'm gonna get 5 in Kobe's era, Shaq's era. Just like Steph Curry about to get 5 in LeBron's era.
No,
Big John, what you think?
You already know my prediction.
Oh, okay.
We ain't got to go over this. I've said this when they got the man Jimmy G Butler, and then G stands for get.
So let me ask you this: does Curry get 6?
Let's worry about 5 first. Let's worry about Jimmy getting his first. See, you're asking around. Does Jimmy get his first?
I think he does.
I'm focused on Jimmy.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this question: Giannis has to get out of town, right? Giannis has to go. Like I should never, after this next week, I shouldn't see Giannis in the Milwaukee uniform, right? It has to be over.
Just Giannis come down to Chicago. Better food, better piece of good people. Y'all can have whatever y'all want besides Kobe White, and just go.
You know what would be great though? You know, Steph has never played with a dominant center.
Listen, stop being greedy. Okay?
Feed the needy.
Stop being greedy.
Yeah, feed the needy.
Stop being greedy. See?
So it would be good to see Steph play with the Joker or with Giannis at some point. That'd be lovely. Just saying. How y'all feel about playing the Rockets tomorrow? I feel wonderful. Lemonade in the shade.
I feel fine. I'm very curious how this first game is going to be officiated.
That's true. Golden State's winning 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Golden State losing that series because they'll adjust. And if Draymond got to punch somebody, Draymond will punch somebody. So it'll stop one way or another.
He'll be under control. He'll make sure that thing.
But again, if he needs to set a hard pick to get it under control, it'll get under control real quick. Especially as long as Steven Adams out of the game. That's why that's who I want Curry to play with. You want Jokic, you want Giannis. I want him to play with Steven Adams.
No. I mean,
you don't get it. All that holding and let him run off screen, run up people into Steven Adams 4 or 5 times. Their arms gonna be too short to hold them.
Well, you're gonna see some of that tomorrow. There's gonna be some hard screens. When you have Post saying, I guarantee you Curry won't have 3 points. That means Quentin Post is ready to put some whammy down on some people.
I'm just saying, I just don't running the Steven Adams. Oh, okay. I get it. My bad. I'm not some holder no more.
See, the guy says, are there any non-active players that were ahead of their time? Anyone who would play better or worse now? I'd love to see Mahmoud Raouf right now.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That's a game changer.
Well, let's see Cedric Sabalas play now.
Cedric Sabalas, Vin Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see Vin Baker play today.
Like this is a style of basketball that like a Tony Kukoc would thrive in.
Yes, he would do very well. Make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Jimmy Fredette was ahead of his time. Was he?
I think it's got to be Jimmy Fredette has to. It's got to be something locker room-ish that happened to him, like Bo. Do you see that story about Bo?
Yeah, I thought that story was bogus. And it tells the average person watching basketball, there are many reasons why your favorite player does not start or come off that bench consistently. There's many reasons, people. I would still like to know in Golden State how Kuminga deals with not really playing, how Moses Moody dealt with it, how James Wiseman dealt with it.
I think Moody deals with it fine because he's been in and out of the rotation.
But last year, man, there were times when Moody was not playing and he should have been playing.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? How do you come in and be like, somebody sits you down, you know what? Hey, Moses, I got my combinations. I don't know if we're gonna have room for you tonight, but just stay ready. How long?
This is a series that Moody should get some action in because you need the length.
Bunch of action.
You like Pods is too small to be on the court for 25 minutes.
Yes.
Right. With Amin Thompson, you're going to need somebody like Moody, somebody like Kuminga, who you need Moody because Moody's going to go box out, get rebounds, and he plays rebounds offensively and defensively well. You can use Kuminga for that length and for the slashing ability, but you're going to need these big bodies. If for anything, to lean on them so they cannot hold Curry.
Yeah. People are about to get their ass beat, man.
So
Curry's gonna run around and people are going to run in the walls. Go ahead.
Hero 3 actually happened to Bo. So there was a point in the season where Bo was averaging like 15 a game.
Ball.
And there was a skirmish on the court. And instead of running to help his teammates, Bo was shooting layups, staying out the way. And basically, Budenholzer benched him for that.
Let me see if I can find a video, people. I like for my people to know we're all on the same page, know what's popping. I just want to clean. It's on a clean video here. I don't want no talking. Yap.
Pistol Pete would be crazy.
Yeah, Pistol Pete would be wild. That's a guy who, to me, I don't know, his death silenced him. A lot of people still don't really understand what he added to the game and how people today mimic him. Yeah, this thing is not easy to find. You would think this thing would be really simple.
I can't remember who I seen it from. Was it Trista?
I saw it clearly on Instagram. Hey, he was really getting his layups on. So.
He was not interested in whatever was happening.
No. And the guy can play, man. You can tell that this guy can. So this goes back to Shaq's statement about Wemby has the green light. Yeah, man, I cannot find this. Is strange. I cannot find this.
All right, we'll see if we can bring it up Tuesday.
Yeah, but like Big John said, he was under the basket practicing layups. Pistol Pete would have been the bomb. Hurry up and wait. Yeah. But Big John, I don't want to keep you too late, man. We want to jump in and talk about the NBA. We might do a little more of this as the playoffs go.
Yeah. Gotta get in. We, appreciate you.
I think
everybody, thank you for coming out tonight. I don't know, say surprise, but extra podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Thank you all. I always appreciate people being here. Thank you all for listening or watching once this is posted. I always appreciate your time and giving us your ear, and also chiming into these comments and letting us know what you're thinking. Big John, hope you have a good night, brother.
You too. Bye.
Peace. Keep rolling.